So I guess it's finally time that Melee actually gets dropped from EVO, huh? I'd be lying if I said I never saw this coming from a mile away, that Melee would eventually get dropped from EVO. But it's just this thought of like, yeah, it's happening right now, right here. I thought this was gonna happen when Smash 4 came out, but to be fair, the impact that Smash Ultimate has with with the players now, including the people who are former Melee players, it's way more impactful. Like, people are actually more interested in Ultimate than they were with Smash 4 when that game came out. So in a way, I think I saw this coming. I didn't want to really believe it to happen, but you know, it is what it is. But me, I'm honestly not even that mad. Like, it's not that Melee doesn't mean the world to me. Melee is a game that I hold to the highest. I hold a high opinion, like, I think about Melee like a lot and how much it actually impacted me as a person, because prior to Melee, like, I would occasionally, like, I was more interested in the NetherRealm fighting games, like Mortal Kombat 9 and stuff like, and Injustice 1, but never have I ever, like, branched into competitive Smash until EVO 2013, unironically, when Melee was featured in it, and rather watching Injustice, I actually chose to watch Melee, and I was blown away with how fast and technical and I'm not gonna lie, how amazing it was to watch Melee, to the point that when I was showing this to my friends, like Frank and Gavin and I, the three of us got into competitive Melee. We did play Melee for quite some time, and it wasn't until Smash 4 came out that we quit playing Melee almost entirely to focus on the new game, which is ideally what most people do. But there was like this special thing that Melee had that just somehow beats its two successors. Like, I don't know, what is it about it? Like, Melee was just more fun than Brawl and Smash 4 combined, and there's just this like high-speed technical gameplay that would always want me to come back to Melee as opposed to those other two games. But in terms of EVO, it ends right here. And honestly, the best thing we can really do, or what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna just support Smash Ultimate now that that's the game that actually made it to EVO. And I'm gonna support I'm gonna support the game through and through until whatever happens from here on. A lot of people have been talking about, like, if there's a possibility that Melee could come back at EVO after this, and you know, I guess after the breast cancer thing in EVO 2013, I feel like it is possible for Melee to come back. But I think it's based on what Armada said. It's based on the dedication of the players themselves that can bring them back. But my other theory is, if it actually happens, is that, like, if it's not just a dedication of the players, but also if Nintendo releases like a GameCube Classic Edition, like much what they've done with the NES and Super Nintendo, what I expect that they're gonna do with the Nintendo 64 one, if they release a GameCube Classic Edition and release Melee along with it, I feel like that can actually help out, because Melee could be finally a newer hardware as opposed to dated hardware. But honestly, the only thing that really does annoy me is that while Melee is not going to be at EVO, we all know that Melee brings in the numbers. But then there's some games like Under Night In Birth and Samurai Showdown, which... what? I've never heard of either of those games, yet those games actually they made the spot for EVO for the 9 games, and Melee didn't. Like, that's the only thing that really bothers me. Not the fact that Melee got removed. Like, that was like a long time coming. Like, I was expecting that to happen. Mortal Kombat 11 was expected to be there, even though that game isn't even out yet. Soul Calibur 6, like, even though everybody completely forgot that game existed, I saw that that game was gonna come. I don't see Soul Calibur coming back after this, but that's besides the point. Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's easily one of, if not the most popular fighting game of the year, or of last year, so I definitely saw that one coming. Tekken 7, a really popular game. Street Fighter 5, you know. You know, it's like, it's not that I didn't see any of these games. I just, like, there were just some games that I just never saw coming. And I'm not going to hate on those games because I personally have no opinion on them. But, you know, that's the thing. I just haven't heard anything about them. And they just took the spot and Melee didn't. And honestly, that's just really the only thing that bothers me. Like, if in actuality, like, I did see Melee eventually leaving EVO and only having one Smash Brothers game being there. I guess ever since, like, I've been seeing people from the FGC just complaining about there always being 2 Smash Brothers game, and that second Smash Brothers game, or really the oldest Smash Brothers game, just happens to be from the GameCube, when games like Super Turbo and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which are like amongst my favorite fighting games ever made. Like, they are the best, hands down. They are far better than their current, you know, successors. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is, like, nowhere to be seen in this. And Street Fighter V is not terrible, in my opinion, but it's just not as good as 4 and 2 were, and Third Strike. Like, you know, those games are infinitely better, but yet they don't really get the second leeway like Melee did. So I guess that's really the only thing, you know. But outside of that, like, it's just, like, you gotta really support the new games. Like, even, you know, that's just how it is, basically. I really don't have much to say about it. But I do owe Melee a lot. Like, I probably wouldn't be here talking about evolution, or at least competitive, or the future of Melee's lack of presence at EVO, if it weren't for Melee. Like, I would not be invested into competitive Smash if it weren't for Melee. And I feel like everybody really does owe Melee a lot. Even Salem, despite all the years of research that he puts into the division between Melee and actual Smash Bros. Players. He owes it to Melee too. I owe it to Melee. Everybody. Even the people that say that Melee is overrated, or it sucks, or the new games are better, whatever the case is, we all owe Melee. It's a game that it's never going to leave the back of my mind, and it's a game that I'll hope to see return to EVO one of these days. But as of right now, as it stands, I'm gonna put all my support into Smash Ultimate. There has been a video that I've been wanting to respond to for quite some time, but I just never got around to it because, you know, shit happens. But there's a YouTuber called the Keith Crew who made a video called Reasons Why Brawl is the best Smash Bros. Game ever, and I've been wanting to make a response to that for quite some time, about why he views Brawl being the best game of the series as a very objective standpoint. And I have a strong opinion about this based on, like, all the fucking years of research bullshit, the impact that each Smash Bros. Game has. A little spoiler warning, but there's, like, a big section that I've been wanting to cover primarily on Melee, and I feel like this is enough to give me the motivation and motivation and dedication that I'm gonna need to make this video response to Keith, which is not a hate video at all. I love the guy. I watch his videos all the time, but this kind of proves my point of which one I personally would think to be the most objective Smash Brothers game, the best. Objectively the best Smash Brothers game, which I know it's not really going to be the best received video, but I just feel like I have a really strong opinion to talk about this sort of subject, especially in a response video. And I feel like the incident with Melee being removed from EVO and everybody's response to it may back up a claim that I want to point out in that video. So stay tuned for that. But all in all, I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad that Melee is out of the picture. Like, I still will doubt that Melee is dead, for sure. I'm going to be seeing, like, SmashCon, and I don't think CEO... I really don't know anything about CEO, though. I'll probably look into it, but if CEO still has Melee, then I still think that Melee has some life. The thing is, it's just kind of like something you kind of need to expect, because ever since BBMD retired, that's already like the first sign of that Melee is not going to be the same. Mutaking's barely playing Melee, to my knowledge. Armada retired, and Leffen is now focusing primarily on Smash Ultimate and Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like, he's been looking for games outside of Melee. This has been a long time coming. And I feel like with Smash Ultimate's release, I feel like it was about time that they decided to make leeway to the new Smash Bros. Game. And I think I even made this statement in like the very first podcast I did with my friend, where I did say that it's like, you know, Smash 4 failed to live up to the Melee's the expectations of many, whereas Smash Ultimate has meet said expectations. And I feel like if you wanted to stop this whole controversy of having two Smash Bros. Games at once, having Smash Ultimate as like the bridge between Melee, like I guess the division that Salem mentions, that there is a division between Melee and Smash 4 players, even though there really isn't, but like to bring most of the people who would play Melee to at least try a game that isn't Melee, you know, and give them a shot, give it a shot, basically. And I feel like Smash Ultimate succeeded on that one. I did say that it would be it'd be a matter of time before that actually does happen, and little did I know that it would be a lot sooner than I expected. But the best thing to do is just support Smash Ultimate. Like, that's probably the best thing I can do. That's all I really have to say. I don't really want to make this into like a big podcast with my friend Juanito. I have like two different podcasts like planned in the long run. One talking about Mortal Kombat 11 and the other about Kingdom Hearts 3. So that's already like booked. This is just something that popped in, but there's not really much I can really say other than, you know, while it is sad that Melee is not going to be at EVO, it's not, in my opinion, it's not the end of Melee. And there are some certain steps that can happen that can bring Melee back into EVO, or hell, still make Melee relevant in the long run. But it's just a damn shame that it's come down to it so soon. So, no, that's all I have to say. So, Smash Ultimate, the doors open for you. It's time for you to take the crown. It's time for you to live up to all of our expectations, and I have a lot of faith because so far Smash Ultimate has actually been the Smash Bros. Game that I've been wanting for quite some time, and I'm really happy for it. So we just gotta stay tuned for August 2nd to 4th for EVO 2019, and honestly, I'm excited for it. So I'll catch you guys later. Let me know what you guys think about Melee not being at EVO. Is like even a bad thing for what do you guys think about this? It's like, if you ever watch my videos, like feel free to comment about what you guys think about Melee not being at EVO. If this seems like it was just mumbo jumbo on my part, this is completely unscripted. I just got home and I just heard about this, so I was like, alright, there's really not much, there's just a lot in my mind right now, and this is just like, this is an interesting news that I never thought about that I was going to be saying out loud anytime soon, but it's here. But it was a good 6 years Melee had on EVO, and I cherish it a lot.